If someone treats life like a comment section and you leave the room feeling heavy, that's not a personality flaw, that's co-regulation. Your nervous system is syncing to theirs. And in this podcast episode, you'll uncover why chronic negativity triggers stress chemistry, even when nobody's doing anything to you, how emotional contagion or co-regulation quietly flips you into a brace for impact style mode, the responsibility trap that keeps you stuck even when the other person is the problem, practical tools, easy next steps everyone can take to stave off the negative Nellies and stay grounded when things get rocky, plus daily moves to protect your energetic inputs without resorting to living life in a monastery or nunnery. And if you're trying to build a better life while surrounded by naysayers, this is your get out of jail free card. In a nutshell, this is how to deal with negative people without cutting everybody off. So have you seen that viral video showing a psychology experiment? There's a guy explaining how different teams of people were given a problem-solving task to solve together, for example, puzzles, challenges, time pressure, same task, similar people, but had one consistent complainer, the eye roller, the huffer, or even the person who narrates doom like it's a national sport, and the whole group's performance disintegrates. Not because they're weak, but not because they're too sensitive, but because their nervous system is a social creature and it calibrates to the environment. And if the room you're in contains someone who treats life like a Discord comment section, your brain quietly flips from build my life mode into brace for impact mode. Because negativity isn't just an opinion, it's a state, and states spread like wildfire. This is emotional contagion or co-regulation, and it's a nervous system thing, not a mindset flaw. And so here comes the science bit. Your brain's constantly scanning for social safety. Tone, microexpressions, posture, size, sarcasm, passive-aggressive jokes. All of it gets processed faster than your conscious mind can keep up. So when somebody brings chronic negativity, your system reads it as threat, instability, conflict incoming. I'm not safe to be fully myself here. And that flips your nervous system into stress. And a stressed out nervous system is on point for escaping a tiger, but utterly disappointing for creativity, problem solving, motivation, consistency, hope, or long-term planning. In plain English, you can't build a life that you deserve while trapped in a nervous system that's consistently bracing for impact. And if you've ever walked into a room and wanted to back out because it felt wrong, you're not imagining it. You're just picking up on cues. Call it emotional contagion, call it co-regulation, call it my body knows before my brain catches up. Either way, it's 100% real and not in a 1960s faux ESP way. And here's why this matters for you. So this isn't just about a toxic co-worker. It's the friend who poo-poos every goal you mention, the family member who turns every conversation into a complaint marathon, the partner who jokes that you'll quit like you always do, the person who only feels close to you when you're struggling. This applies whether it's how to deal with negative people at work or how to deal with negative family members you can't exactly return to Amazon but wish you really could. They don't have to scream at you to sabotage you. They just have to drip feed doubt, cynicism and drama until your brain starts treating your own dreams like a threat. Then there's the pattern I see constantly in my therapy practice, and it's not flattering. After a few weeks, most of my clients start to recognize that the relationship with a friend or family member is unhealthy, but they refuse to leave. Not because they're stupid, because of loyalty, guilt, shame, fear of judgment, hope in the form of but if they just, and their entire focus during a session trying to explain their current crappy life is always about the other person. He needs to X, Y, Z. She should have A, B, C. They're a narcissist. And this inevitably leads to the outsourcing of responsibility and accountability. So take this one client who had decided the week before that they were absolutely going to restart dance classes at the local gym. Then when explaining why it didn't happen, came out with, well, I can't go to the gym because he won't let me use the car. So I said, that's cool, download an app, do a workout at home, which became, I don't have the room. So I say, rearrange the furniture, which turned into, he won't let me rearrange the furniture. So do you see the trap? It's not that this part of their life is particularly hard. It's that their brains learned a pattern. You can't be trusted to look after your own emotional state. And once you do that long enough, you end up in a state of learned helplessness. You stop seeing options, you stop seeing agency, you stop seeing that you're allowed to change your behaviour even if somebody else says exactly the same. And FYI, it's not your job to fix somebody else. And I'm going to say this again because it's really important you get this. It's not your job to fix somebody else. And here's something else people miss about this whole emotional contagion thing. When you shift your internal patterns, the external patterns with others also shift, quite often instantly. Not because you've healed them, because behavioural psychology is boringly predictable. Humans repeat what gets rewarded, humans reduce what stops working. So if you change what you reward, what you tolerate, what you respond to, and what you ignore, the whole dance changes, even if they don't know you're doing it. And my mantra, and the one I teach clients, it's not my journey. This is the line that keeps you in integrity. It's not my journey. It reminds you that other people have a right to exist as the version of themselves they currently are. You don't get to control them. You don't get to micromanage their growth. Your only job is to feel good, focus on your journey, and focus on how you show up. And it's also how you stop becoming a hypocrite. We all make mistakes. So don't judge others on theirs in a way that you wouldn't want to be judged for yours. And this isn't about hating the negative Nelly. It's about honouring their life experience and making a choice. Do you join in or do you stay grounded in peace? And here's the part that's probably going to annoy around 85% of you listening to this. Negativity only affects you if you let it. And here's the most important detail every single person who shared that video has missed. In those group experiments, performance doesn't drop for everyone. It's often 20 to 30% drop, which means 70 to 80% of people were unaffected. So the question isn't just why are they negative, it's also why is my system available for it? And that's not blame, that's power, because you can't control them, but you absolutely can control your inputs. Here's a practical takeaway. You don't need to fix them. You need to stop feeding the state and stop letting your nervous system treat their mood like a weather forecast. And here's 4 tools you can use to repel the negativity and shift your dream life into overdrive. Tool number 1, starve the fire. Attention is oxygen. This is the simplest explanation I can give you. Negativity is a fire. Attention is oxygen. If you keep giving it oxygen, reacting, soothing, arguing, validating, endlessly trying to fix, it grows. If you remove oxygen, ignore, redirect, time box, or change the subject, it dies down. And this is also why spirals repeat. The more you vocalize a thought, the more you rehearse it. It's the reverse of how we learn the times tables, which we do by rote. Repeat it enough and your brain treats it as the truth. So we just stop the rehearsal. Tool number 2, the two-pronged rule. Ignore spirals and reinforce calm, because ignoring alone can feel ice cold. Now this technique works best when you combine ignore and redirect the spiral. For example, let them rant and then ask if they want a cuppa. Yes, I'm English, and yes, the stereotype is true. Tea is always the answer. Reinforce calm or constructive behaviour, for example. Thank them for something they've done for you, which they didn't have to do, or when they're chill, tell them something you admire about them. It's a core technique I always teach the parents who come through the door desperate for help with their kids. But the best thing is that humans are humans regardless of age. I use the exact same technique with my adult clients in therapy when they're spiraling, and then I teach it to them to use with others to protect themselves. And tool number 3, the code word boundary. And yes, it's ridiculous on purpose. So if you're dealing with somebody you want to keep in your life, maybe a partner, close family member, here's a boundary technique that actually works. But you have to agree to it in advance to avoid the mid-argument confusion and their genuine concern as to whether you've developed Tourette's. So pick a random out-of-place code word, for example, cauliflower. Ahead of time, you both need to agree to the rules of the code word. So if either person says cauliflower, the conversation ends immediately. Both people retreat, both people regulate their nervous system. Then you come back and you talk once you're not in the threat mode anymore. And once something's discussed, even if it takes multiple attempts, it's done. No revisiting, no revising. A conclusion must be drawn, even if it's we agree to disagree and respect each other's opinions. And if somebody tries to reopen the case later, you ignore it and change the subject. And that's not avoidance, that's refusing to live in an endless courtroom. Tool number 4, daily moves to help you protect your inputs before you blow up your relationships. So first up, audit your circle. Ask, who drains me? Who energizes me? Who makes me feel capable? Who makes me feel like I'm too much for having goals? And if you're the one with a PhD in peacekeeping between everybody else while your body's screaming for help, then this is your homework. Number 2, train your algorithm like it's your employee. If your nervous system is getting dunked on in real life, don't let your phone finish you off. Follow funny accounts, save clips that make you laugh, and move to the doom merchants. This isn't avoidance, this is input management. Number 3, endorphin reset, gym or nature. So negativity creates stress chemistry. So you need a physical off-ramp. Lift weights, walk fast, cold air, and daylight. Turn that energy into fuel. Number 4, wins journaling. And this is for people who hate gratitude journaling. So if gratitude list makes you want to gag, do this instead. Write 3 wins a day. I didn't take the bait. I protected my peace. I did the thing that I said I'd do. And this trains your brain back into agency. And the golden rule in all this, surround yourself with builders, not breakers. And if you can't find any builders yet, well, go hermit mode. Build anyway. Protect your inputs. Get strong in private, because your future doesn't need everybody else's approval. It needs your nervous system out of survival mode long enough to execute. And if this hits a nerve in a good way, take the happiness archetype test. It'll show you which pillar you're stuck in so you can stop guessing and start shifting. Links in the show notes below.